Hey guys, it's welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In today's video, we're going to be doing the beginning of a new series. So this is going to be kind of like an intro to the series, and we're going to talk about why we're doing it and what we're going to be doing through the whole time. The plan of the series is going to be to help out new players and players who are struggling with aspects of Escape from Tarkov. So the other day on Reddit, I asked, what players struggle with, especially, new players and things they'd like to see. And we got a pretty good feedback from the community, giving me a lot of ideas that we can make videos on, as you can see. So I decided we're going to take all these ideas and we're going to turn them into a bunch of videos. So that way, hopefully, current new players, future new players, and everybody no longer have to struggle through the game. Or at least, can find somewhere to go to help them give them a leg up. So with that, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so what we're going to be talking about in this video is going to basically be a cover over everything as a new player you could want to find. So we're going to be talking about every function of the game from your hideout. We're going to talk about everything you need to know about the hideout, what you can do with it, how you should go about using it to best benefit you. Like I said, all the little neat things in the hideout you may be able to do. Like, there's been a lot of new additions to crafting things for quests that people may not know about. New bullets that constantly become available that are good and usable. And again, like, the more you know and understand about it, it'll help you make money. It'll help you dictate what's important to grab out of raids. Like, when you die with items, they lose the found and raid status. So something that might be more valuable selling in the flea market because it has a high value found and raid status but doesn't sell to traders very well might not be worth putting in your secure container over something that you can use that's also relatively expensive on the market, but if you die, you can still use it to craft a new item that's expensive on the market that will regain the found and raid status. We'll talk about how to play as your scav. We'll talk about, the most effective way to use your scav when playing Escape from Tarkov to learn everything. I mean, your scav's a very valuable tool for new players to learn pretty much everything. I mean, everything's risk-free on your scav. We'll talk about how to play with friends. If you get a bunch of friends together and you guys are new players, there's a lot of challenges in that aspect that are different than playing solo. Because learning how to work together when none of you really know what you're doing is more challenging than being by yourself and not have to worry about killing your friends. It's simpler for sure. We'll talk about looting and how to dictate what loot you want, what's valuable, what's not valuable. How loot shifts, how value of loot shifts, and why it shifts as wipes go on, and how like certain items that you thought were valuable at one time, why they're not going to be valuable in the future, and why future items become more valuable. We'll talk about proper looting. We'll go through each map at some point and talk about all of the valuable items in each map and where generalized items spawn for each map. I'm not necessarily going to go through like every individual item where it spawns in every map, but we'll break down if you want to go looking for weapon parts, where's the best place in each map to do that. If you need meds, foods, valuables, all kinds of stuff. We'll break it down in little sections and I'll show you on each map where the best areas to go for that are. We'll talk about questing and the most efficient way to do questing. We'll talk about, a big one that a lot of people mentioned in the Reddit was how to overcome gear fear, as it's called. Generally, we'll talk about all the mental hurdles that Tarkov has. It's a very intimidating game coming in, especially as a new player. There's a lot to learn. There's so many, there's a billion items, and everything does something, but sometimes nothing does anything. There's a lot to understand. And we'll get through that, and we'll try to help you shake off some of that anxiety and fear that people have when playing the game. We'll talk about improving your PvP skills. We will go over all the maps. We have a video currently out on Shoreline about early spawns and how all that works. But we will work on making that same kind of video with every map so you can kind of understand when you spawn somewhere, you can understand where all your early engagements are going to be to keep you from just like, oh, I loaded in, all right, now what do I do? And then you're instantly dead. We will talk about the weapon moddings. That's another very important feature of the game when it comes to it. We're understanding how your presets work and how you can learn how to build guns. Like, you know, each gun has the ability to pull up a preset screen, and you can go over all the possible attachments and parts you can change around. And we'll kind of talk about how all the gear works with each other and how to understand how to build guns to make them as best as possible. We will talk about, so let's see, so we talk about guns. We're going to talk about how to succeed as a casual player. There's a lot of players out there who only get to play for an hour, maybe two, you know, sometimes that's all they get to play for the week. And at the very beginning of life, that's not a big deal because everybody's low gear. But, you know, at that rate, you won't be able to keep up. You're going to find yourself running into a lot more geared players. And how do you survive in a world like that? So that's pretty much, at the time, all the things we want to talk about through the series. With that being said, at any point in time, if people comments, DMs, any kind of messages to me of anything we haven't covered yet and they don't think I'm going to cover, I said I would love to hear back from you guys. You just tell me and we will make videos. Like, the idea of this whole series will be to have every possible solution, or at least an answer or a generalized answer to every possible question you have as a new player or new future players might have. Just a little background on how I came into Tarkov. I picked up this game in 2016. I played like 5 raids, hated it, couldn't stand it. I didn't know what I was doing. Everything was so confusing. But I came from console at that point, so I definitely had no experience with any kind of hardcore game. So I was just lost. And then about a little less than a year ago, I had a friend who convinced me to play Tarkov one more time. He's like, oh, it's really fun. I've been playing it. Like, I learned it. I love it. And I was like, I don't know, but I give it a shot. And now I can't stop playing the game. Like, I love everything about this game, everything about the community. So, you know, we really want to make sure we can build this to be the best guide we can. So, like I said, if anybody has any questions or ideas or things they'd like to see or things that confuse them or, you know, anything that's discouraging them, like I said, comments would be great. We'll get these videos out. Hopefully every other day we put a new video for the series. So keep an eye out. Like I said, like and subscribe will definitely help us, help the channel. If you guys have any friends, you know, link them to the channel to them so they can see it. And we'll get these out as fast as possible. And I hope these are all very helpful for everyone, new or not new, or anybody who doesn't know some things or has questions about things. That's what we're aiming to do. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And as always, happy raiding.